Hey guys, True Night here. So I had a chance to kind of like decompress, work out, do some family stuff, hang out with the kiddo more and more, and really compose my thoughts for what I thought about YCS Vegas. And when I think about the format overall and the actual tier 0 in the room, Snake Eye Fire King, or Snake Eye. So what makes this deck so powerful? First of all, it's the effects of the monsters are all nutty. They all have multiple effects. They all do multiple things at multiple times. They're not just like a do this and this. It's more of like do this, then later on do that kind of thing, So this deck's like turn 1 board is just kind of like a lot of the time Ambler Whale or Promethean and another creature and a crap ton of graveyard that can just follow up next turn. So my thought process is kind of changed as far as what I think will be hit. I think Promethean Princess is gonna have to go. I hate to say that because she just got here, but her follow-up effect of later on in the duel just being able to pop and summon is insane. Snake Eye Ash is pretty nutty. Oak is pretty crazy. Poplar's crazy. If they want to do away with all of it, honestly though, they'll probably hit original because that card kind of just blows all this entire thing up because that's an enabler, right? Diabellstar, I don't feel like is a problem. I think she offers great utility, being able to set stuff and things of that nature, but I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is the follow-up and all those things that the deck brings, all of it together. Like Flameburge, the more and more I've watched and reviewed, holy cow, that card is insane. Princess, just at any time when your opponent's trying to push, and if they skipped for any kind of second or didn't review your graveyard and they're just pushing through, boom, Princess just pop summons. And I don't think that that's really healthy for the game state right now. Now, if they decide to let it go out, yeah, in a couple of months, players will learn to have played around it. But do people want to continue to go to locals and do that? Or are people going to turn into tier limit format and just stop showing up because they have no interest? First of all, this deck costs way too much. So if you're looking at anywhere between the ages of like 12 and 18, they may not show up anymore because they're just going like, well, I can't afford $1,000 and my mom and dad will go nuts if I try. So they're just gonna not come. People my age in their 30s are not gonna come because I got a wife and kid, and if you try explaining to your spouse, hey, I want to play this card game and it's gonna cost like $1,200, your spouse is gonna kind of look at you and be like, I can't take you seriously. Like, that's just phony, So you have a kid, you have a home, you have bills, you have cars, you have utilities, you have things to pay for, not a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, So that's kind of something that I've been priced out of myself. Like, I have a lot of the deck and everything, but the longevity of being able to hold on to it and justifying that, I was gracious enough to pick it up through trade and a really good deal, but still don't have bonfires, so I still don't have the deck at its full power, right? So it's kind of things like that you got to think about. And then you got to think about, well, what would make this deck kind of calm down, It's the exact opposite of Kashtira. Kashtira was all about banishing. This deck is all about filling up that graveyard. So what do we play? Fissure, we play Shifter, we play Macros Cosmos, we play things like that, Yeah, I made a nuanced deck with Sword Soul and main Shifter, but Super Poly is what made that deck pop off at the tournament. So for me, it's like cool. Maybe I could play Sword Soul with Shifter and roll on that way, you know? Like, I'm not playing Ash or Valor or anything like that anymore. I'm not playing Nib because I got Tennies, but I can play Super Poly, Shifter, and Droll. Well, opponents don't care about Droll, as you could see this weekend. Everybody played through Droll the whole time. People struggled against Shifter, but Shifter was nowhere to be seen in the top. They still made it through. People, like Super Poly didn't show up, which is mind-boggling to me. Like, did no one think to play Super Poly or something, or what happened there? So for me, it's a bit frustrating because I'm just like, well, then what's the answer? I could jump on the side of the fence that's just like, well, hit it all and bring it back to a 27 deck format, or do I meet in the middle and say, well, hit a couple of the things and leave the rest, or am I just like, screw it, let's roll forward with a tier 0 format and hope for the best? I don't know where I stand yet. I guess as the format evolves, I'll figure it out. I think right now where I stand is I'm kind of in the middle. Like, hit it just enough to where it's playable and it can be one of the 27 decks that's competing, but Promethean Princess is insane. And we've all seen in the past where extra deck cards like that come out eventually are gone. You know, a Solday, Dryden for whatever reason is still gone. Electromite, freaking a Rise Heart, all those cards are gone, right? Because eventually Konami just says, we've had it, players are getting angry, we got to do away with it. So I think Promethean Princess will get the same treatment. I don't think you need to hit any of the Fire King stuff. The Fire King is very resourceful, and I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is the Snake Eyes stuff. More notably, like Flameberg and Ash, Oak, Poplar. Those are the issues. They're the new tier limits. They're the new broken, insane monsters that are the issue. So if they hit, shoot, if we brought it back to what the game was a month ago, like you had Fire King with Diabellstar and that was it. It was top, but it wasn't like tier 0. I'm cool with that. Get rid of the Snake Eyes stuff. I mean, they got rid of all the Ishizu and tier limits, you know? I mean, yeah, people got to play it for like 5 months, but does Konami want to just repeat history like they did last year and do that again? Where locals just becomes a graveyard because people are like, I don't have the money to go compete. Who knows, you know? History is literally just running in a cycle. It's stupid. But anyway, my thought so far is I'm kind of in the middle. What I think will happen inevitably is I think all the Snake Eyes stuff is going to go. I think Promethean Princess will go. I think it's going to get the tier limit treatment over the next few months. I think by October, Ash will be gone, Oak will be gone, Poplar will be gone, Flameberg will be gone, and Princess will be gone. I think that's just gonna it's inevitable. But I think in the meantime, they're probably gonna do like a slap on the wrist, and then we'll just kind of roll out from there. I don't know what that slap in the wrist looks like, guys. All I can tell you is what I see happening by this coming winter this year. And what does that mean for other decks? I think that the new water structure deck will be top notch by then, and Fire King will remain a thing all year. I think Voiceless Voice will step up and be a stronger deck because holy cow, did it look pitiful and pathetic this weekend. Yeah, it was in the top, but it was only in the top because it got carried by their teammates playing Snake Eye Fire King. I think every single Voiceless Voice match I saw, and no discredit to the players, it's just that deck sucked, in my opinion. So, I think Kashtira is going to make a splash. I think it's going to hit. I agree with Billy Brake and the announcers in the very beginning of the tournament when they said anything not Snake Eye is considered to be rogue. I think that's hardcore, prevalent, and true now more than ever. Which kind of sucks, because Manadium had stuff going for it, Vanquish Soul had stuff going for it, all these decks had things going for them, and Konami just kind of did away with all that. So, but in my opinion, if you want to resolve the big issue in the room, which is 85% Fire King Snake Eye in top events, you just do away with the Snake Eye shit, and you make it Fire King with Diabell Star and all that stuff. And then guys like me can come out the woodwork with their Infernoble Knight, Flame Swordsman, Diabell Star deck and kind of have some fun with a combo deck. Manadium would come back out to play. Vanquish Soul would see a rise. Branded is just, you got branded weirdos that are never going to let the deck go. You got Sword Soul weirdos like me that are never going to let the deck go. And all that stuff would come back out to play. Flew Wonderies, it was cute. You guys were funny. You know, you showed up. It was adorable, but nowhere to be seen in tops. Branded, you guys are adorable, but sorry, it's just that Fire King Snake Eye is just on a whole nother level, man. You just, especially against the right player, like Sam, Pack, those guys, like, give them 9 out of 10 chances they're gonna win every time, you know. So in my opinion, I think we'll see a, let's do a guesstimate, because shoot, why not, you know? For a hit on the wrist, I don't think we're gonna see an emergency ban list, quote unquote. I think we're just gonna see a ban list sooner than later, meaning in March sometime, maybe like mid-March, end of March. We'll see. I'm gonna call Flameberg to 1, maybe Oak banned, Temple banned, or Ash to 1 kind of thing. And then steadily over the year, we'll see Flameberg banned, Poplar banned, Ash banned, and Promethean Princess will be gone. So, which deservingly so, right? I mean, as much as I hate on the fact that they got rid of Isolde, because I love that card, it needed to go. And the same needs to happen to Promethean Princess. I know there's going to be lovers of that card and everything, but that card needs to go. It's degenerate and stupid. So the follow-up is insane. The effects are nutty. And it's like I said, it's not what the deck ends on their turn. It's just what that deck can do throughout the match is what makes it so insane. So kind of like Tearlament. Well, I mean, Tearlament put its balls on the table and then said, I dare you to play. But this deck is like a spring-loaded trap. It's just like, I got my 1 card starter in Ash, I got 4 hand traps, and I got 20 cards in my grave. Good luck, your turn. And it's just like, you just feel this like pit of no hope in your stomach when your opponent says, go ahead, opponent. And it's just like, well, they probably got a set in perm, they got Amblo Whale on field, and a graveyard full of monsters, and they have 3 cards in hand, which I could assume are Droll, Nib, and maybe Valor. I don't know, what do I do? Summon Tenny? And my opponent just laughs at me, you know? Like, it's just, yeah, it kind of sucks right now. So, my opinion, Konami, after I've thought about it for a while, do right by your fan base. Don't let certain players be at the forefront of your game. That's just horrible, like pitiful, pathetic. Certain people with their track records and all, like, no matter what community says yes or no, if they have a background like that, like, you gotta do better, man. Especially if you're trying to say we're here for the kids. Like, that's a joke at this point. My second opinion of the game right now, as it stands, you don't need to completely shit on Fire King with the ban list or Snake Eye with the ban list, but you could hit it and, I don't know, put good players in a room together like Pack and Jesse Cotton and guys like that, and maybe they can sit with you and tell you, hey, so we don't kill the deck, let's just do this or that and see how that goes. Because if Konami just leaves up to their employees, like, sorry, but you need to involve your player base and like the actual good players, you know. So that's my thought process for right now. And they've openly said before on their videos and stuff, like, hey, we're willing to sit down with Konami representatives and give our input, you know, which you guys should be listening to. That's a smart thing for a company to do, you think. But yeah, my thought process is simple. I don't think we need to completely do away with the deck, but we can definitely make like slaps on the wrist for it right now and then see what happens. I don't think Fire King itself needs to be hit. Maybe after all this stuff is gone, we'll probably see a hit to Ponix or Kieran, but as it stands right now, I don't think it needs to, because that's not the issue. It was stopped before and it could be stopped again. It's just the Snake Eyes stuff is insane. So that's it for the day. That's all I have for right now. This week, be on the lookout for more deck profiles. I'm gonna try and go to locals tonight. I don't know if I can, with my wife working late and myself putting in extra hours right now. We're planning a trip pretty soon, so I gotta put in work for that, and then gotta do some studying up for school. So I don't know if you'll see a locals video this week, maybe not, but be on the lookout for deck profiles, for more discussion around the game, and maybe other people's deck profiles. So all right guys, be kind, be respectful of each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.